All right, y'all. Welcome to a very special report right here on Channel 49 News Break. And we got a very special guest with us. We got George Floyd Uncle. As you know, the situation that happened over there in Ohio, the Ohio police finally released the video. Let's take a quick look at the video and then we're going to get into this video. And we got George Floyd Uncle to give his input. Let's go to.
Get your shit outside. We're going outside. No, you ain't killing me. You ain't killing me tonight. You ain't killing me. No, no. No, you guys gotta kill me. They're on here. They're trying to kill me. They're trying to kill me.
All right, then, Mr. Jones, we got Sir Wayne Jones with us. Good evening. Talk to us about what's going on through your head when you first find out that we have another killing of a black man.
Wow. Absolutely wow. When it was brought to my attention a couple days ago, someone sent me the video. And honestly, Donnell, that's probably the most I've watched that video because I listened at the first 30 seconds of it, and it threw me into sadness because once again, I hear my nephew's voice, I see my nephew's face, I see my nephew's death in the same situation, in the same scenario. It happened almost 4 years ago from another man, Frank Tyson, in Ohio. Once again, you had somebody that was having a mental health episode, and people, because of their power and control, decided that they would be the ones to take control or show their power. And once again, we have another young man that won't have an opportunity to visit his family or see his family anymore. And if the bill that I have been so heavily involved in, the medical civil rights, would have been passed, we would not have had this horrific incident to happen again because the medical civil rights would have immediately needed medical attention as soon as Mr. Frank Tyson said, I can't breathe. And once again, we see another life lost because of people thinking that they're doctors and not police officers, and thinking they're police officers instead of doctors.
You make a good point when you say that. We got to talk about this because, in Fort Worth, the police have completely got away from the air breathing thing. And so, do you think that this should have been uh, taken away? The chokehold has been taken away in Fort Worth. But do you think that this should have been taken away with every police department across the country? Because this, from what I'm hearing, this was another chokehold.
Once again, my man, we have another life lost by the same situation in the same scenario by police officers that are not medical officials, that are pretty much given the opportunity and the ability to harm another individual, whether black, white, blue, green, yellow, purple, or orange. Frank Tyson should be alive today. Frank Tyson should probably have been put in a mental institution, but he's going to be put in a casket because somebody went beyond in their calls of duty instead of protecting and serve and helping this young man through his problems. Then you can visually tell that he was under mental distress.
Right,
They viciously took advantage of this man and killed him because they had that power and control aspect into play. Just sad, man. Absolutely sad that this continuously happening.
I got to ask you this also because it's getting this could not happen at a time that is getting closer now to your uncle, I mean to your nephew anniversary of his death, which is coming up what, May the 29th?
May the 25th, we got 27 days.
mm,
Uh, I counted them the other day. I think we're at 1,400 and probably 60 days that the world changed on May the 26th, 2020,
mm,
because of that's the day we found out when my nephew uh, was murdered in the streets of Minneapolis. And now I just looked at, I seen a news break report that they are awarding some of the uh, bystanders that watched him die 150K uh,
mm,
because they were standing there and they were traumatized by the death of my nephew. Now, if that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, that
mm,
nephew's killing was so brutal and so malicious that innocent bystanders are
mm,
now paid because of how traumatized they were. That death traumatized the whole world, but we still have police officers that are
mm.
using guerrilla tactics
What
to,
do you say?
to handle people.
I got to ask you this, because there's a lot of people that are having, after we did the first report, which was a couple of days ago, a lot of people seem like there's a separation of comments on what people think. It seems like some of the white, and I'm not racist, but it seems like some of the whites are saying that he should have complied. A lot of the blacks are angry and upset and saying that this is not right. We're going to this again. What do you say? Because again, you got a separation of whites who are saying he should have complied. What do you say to those white people that think like that? Not all white people, but the white people that are thinking that he should have complied. What do you say to them?
Anyone that literally thinks that he should have been murdered because he was having a mental episode, that's a farce. Because reality is, how many people do things that they shouldn't do and they still are alive? And you're going to tell me just because he was having high anxiety, just because he was having a mental health issue, just because he was under high stress, they blame him for being murdered? Come on, man. Reality is over aggressiveness is over aggressiveness, and once again, we see people over aggressive with somebody that was obviously having a mental breakdown, man. So
Mhm.
life is so precious, man, and it just seems like to some people it's not that precious. And I'm not a doctor, but I know that I heard him say, "I can't breathe." I know that
Yes.
I heard him say, "Stop." And once
Mhm.
he said that, the medical civil rights would have prevented his death. Well, it would have been a borderline for to prevent his death because at that point they would have stopped trying to be aggressive and put him and subdued him
Mhm.
to a moderate manner so they could have sought medical attention. So man, like I said, I'm not a doctor, but I know wrong is wrong and right is right.
Right.
When three or four people attack someone and you can hear him until he has a heart
What
attack, man, come on.
What do you say to the president of the United States right about now? Because it seems like that a lot of people are angry about it. But do you think they're going to get out in the streets and do a repeat of George Floyd protest? Do you
Man,
see that coming?
I sure hope not. But I've got a lot of calls and wanting me to go to Cleveland and wanting me to go to several different places. What we need the George Floyd Policing Act passed immediately so we can end qualified immunity. And we need the medical civil rights bill passed so we can have a preventive measure so people don't have to die because somebody was overly aggressive and somebody uh, uh, thought played doctor and they weren't. Once somebody says, I'm in distress, you have to listen to the voice. And a lot of
Mm,
times people think, well, are they lying? Are they joking to get out of it? It doesn't matter. there should be a buffer between somebody saying, I can't breathe, and dying, because this dying has to stop. This dying has to quit. You know, more people died after George than before George, and it don't seem like people are slowing down, Donnell. And that's the sad part, man. I have to shed some more tears. I have to go to another funeral because somebody was murdered by an overzealous police officer.
What is the family of Bryson is saying? What is the family saying?
Just sad, man. Everybody, you know, they could throw. I'm sure a lot of people are traumatized, you know, or re-traumatized, man, because it reminded me, like I said, whenever I hear that on video, I could see my big sister's baby boy laying on the ground and a police officer on his neck. And like I said, many a times he went from dancing, laughing, crying, and dying within 15 minutes. And you could tell Frank's video was less than that. They walked in there and he was playing with them. Don't kill me, don't kill me. And well, we know the outcome now. That's the reason why I'm here again, because he's deceased by the hands of a police officer.
Do you think that the police across America need to be reformed? Do you think it needs to be a police reform across the country as far as training?
It needs to be reformed as far as some type of security and a mental health assistance, which some places have that, man, because you can basically see that this guy was not in a harmful mood. This dude was having a mental health crisis. And once you see a police officer with a gun, with a badge, when you're having a mental health crisis, you're going to be in high anxiety and high stress mode because you've seen it, visually saw. As soon as he walked in, he started pleading for his life. And guess what? I reckon he didn't plead hard enough because he's not here today. Because somebody decided that they would be judge, jury, and executioner. And it doesn't matter what the autopsy says. It doesn't matter what anybody says in my mind. I saw Eric Garner number 3.
But I tell you what, man, thank you so much for talking to us here at Channel 49 News Break about what just happened and your thoughts on it. And we're going to continue to keep your family in prayer because as this is being played out, it's bringing back memories of what happened to your nephew, George Floyd. And it's coming up closer to what, 5 years? Is it 5 years now?
4 years. 4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
4 year anniversary.
4 years.
You know what, though, Donnell, this is also traumatizing the world again. Because
Mhm.
once again, we have to sit and watch another human being get murdered on tape. And it's absolutely horrendous that we still have to go through this time and time and time again. And as I say, I don't fight for the George Floyds. I fight for the people that want George Floyds. I fight
Mhm.
for all people. In reality, when is this going to stop?
Mhm.
When is this going to stop? And you know what I always say, Donnell, we have to breathe, we have to dream,
Mhm.
we have to breathe, and then we have to deliver. And we have dreamt this for so many years that the killing of black men, black women, Caucasian men, Caucasian women, Hispanic men, Hispanic women. We have dreamed over and over again that the killings
Mhm.
by people, by police would stop. No better time than the present. We can band together and we can make legislations and make laws so they have to stop. Donnell, once again, my man, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to
Well,
speak on this.
thank you so much for talking to us here at Channel 49 News Break. And again, you can check out the full video that we're going to be playing on YouTube.